Hey guys, welcome here. In last lecture I showed you how you can return a value from a function. In this lecture we'll continue and we'll talk about classes. So let's start open your coding editors and let's see what we need to change. First of all, I would like to remove this comment here and I would like to get rid of this line console log car equal car get this function call. Alright, so I'll remove this, car2 can stay. Okay, and also we will remove this comment here. Okay, so now let's imagine I would like to create multiple cars. So let's say I would like to create 10 or 20 cars, and I need to all the time now write car3 equals, I need to assign an object here, I need to specify here brand, time, produce year. That's actually okay, but what if there will be some similarities between a car and a car2? So I want to also have here a display info function, so I need to write this function again on my car2 here, and then I need to execute this function. So let's say we would like to get rid completely of a display car info function, and we would like to use here this internal function of our objects. Okay, so let's completely remove this display car info. So I'll completely remove this function. Okay, I can remove also these lines here. We don't need them. All right, and we want to call here a car and a display info. And we would like to do the same with our display info by car2. Let's test it out. Let's go to our terminals. Everything should work as before. All right, but as you can see now, we need to all the time write here our new object. We need to specify here our function display info, and we need to duplicate this functionality all the time. So I think there is a better approach. There is an approach to create blueprint of your objects, and all of your objects will be created from this blueprint, and they will share some common behavior. And for this we have a classes. So first I will show you how you can create a class. Okay, so up here, just the about the run up, I will create a class like this, space, and you need to choose a name of your class. You will specify name with the uppercase starting letter, and what we want to create a cars. So our class will be called car. Then you will write a curly brackets for your class body. Okay, so and basically now we have our car class. Now I would like to specify maybe some properties of this car class, or I should call it maybe member variables of this car class. So let's do it. I will specify here the same brand, time, and a produce year. Okay, so I will specify here brand. Okay, you will specify not as an inside of the object, but you need to write here equal sign. Okay, so brand, and brand will be, let's say, just an empty string. Okay, so brand type, it will be empty string, and produce year, let's say this will be null. All right. As I told you, all of our car objects will be created from our class car blueprint, and they are sharing this property. So we don't want to set here Mercedes-Benz 95, because all of our cars will be created with this data Mercedes-Benz 95. So we want to create all of our cars with just an empty brand type, empty type, and a null produce year. All right, and what we need to do here also is create a display info function. Okay, so simply I will create here display info function like this. Okay, as you can see here, I don't need to specify our function. I don't need to write here equal sign or a colon. We'll define function as this in your class. All right, and our display info function should display the same here, same console log. All right, so console log here, this brand, this type, and this produce year. As you can notice here, we have access to this context, and which context a reference to instance of this car class, as you saw before in our car objects. So we have access to our properties here, our member variables, and functions. All right, so let's create a car objects. So how you can create a car objects from a car class, and also you can call it instance of a class. So I will show it on our car example here. I will remove all these brackets here, and when you want to create an instance of a class, you need to start with the keyword new. new, okay? And then you need to add here the name of your class you want to create an instance from. I would like to create an instance from a car class. You need to call it as you're calling a functions, and let's provide here a semicolon. And now you just basically created car class. Now I can call it, I can access my properties, same a brand type and a produce year and display info. So when I will write here car, I can access here my brand, our display info function, produce year, and type. Everything is accessible to me as before, but you can see as simple is to create our object, our instance from a car. Now let's see here our console log, and let's see what the type is a car. So type of, I want to see a type of a car, and also I would like to display type of my car too. All right, car too. Okay, let's save this. Let's go back to our terminals and let's run our application. So node app.js, and you can see both of these types are objects. That's correct. So you can see my car was created from a car, which is an object. All right, type of this is object, and also my car too is an object type. So they are sharing the common type, and we will be talking about these wireless types are the same later when I will be talking about the inheritance. But no, don't worry about it right now. Just remove this type of for now. Okay. So we have a car, and as you can see, we displayed here info about from our car one, and this was just a empty string, a dash, and a null. And that's of course right, because as you can see here, we have just an empty car. So our brand type and a produce year of our car will be replaced by empty string of a brand type will be empty string, and a produce year will be empty. And of course, if you want, you can debug it. So when right here breakpoint on our car display info, and simply let's debug this. So click here on our debugger, let's run this code. Let's get to a line of our display info. Let's get inside of here. So this step into function, you can see we are calling here display info from our car class, and we have access to this. And these holdings, this brand produce year and type, which is an empty string, and a null. So of course we'll display these empty values here to our console, as you can see here. So what we need to do? What we need to do is to change these properties. We can do it manually from here, which is not very recommended way. I can access here a car, I can get here my brand, I can simply access here, this was before Mercedes, right? So Mercedes, all right, and we have here, then what we have here? We have here type. I wrote there before Benz, so we can get here Benz, and also produce year, right? So produce year, and this will be 1995, just like this. Now when I will save this, you will see this will work normally. My Mercedes-Benz will be displayed as well as a Mitsubishi Lancer. Okay, but I just added, I filled up these properties from outside of my class. I assigned their Mercedes-Benz and 95 to my properties of my car. There is also a simpler way, and we will see it's a better way how you can achieve this, but so you know, you can access your properties as before as on objects. Okay, and of course you can use here also square bracket syntax. When you want to access a brand, you can do it, square brackets. I would like to access here key of my brand. You can do it. I will comment it for you, and I will show you the different way. You can provide these values, Mercedes-Benz and a 95, to your class when you are creating instance of the class. So basically I can write it here, right? I can write it Mercedes, comma, quotes here, Benz, and 1995. Now I'm providing these values to my initialization of my class instance. Okay, I'm providing these values, but where I will get these values inside of my car class? These values cannot just appear suddenly into my brand type and a produce year. Okay, my environment, my JavaScript compiler doesn't know about this. Where I want to provide these string values and this number of values too. But what we have on classes is a special function called constructor. So I can specify here special function with the name of a constructor like this. And constructor is called as a first function when you are creating instance of a class. So before your instance, your car object is even created, this constructor will be executed, and whatever you will provide inside of here, inside of these brackets, you will get inside of your constructor parameters. Okay, so constructor is a special function of your car class, and it will be executed as a first thing when you are creating instance of your class. So Mercedes-Benz and 95 will get inside of a constructor, but first we need to specify parameters of a constructor. So what we are expecting to get here is a brand, is a type, and is a produce year. That's what we are expecting to get here. So we will get here Mercedes-Benz and 95. Alright, so now we know that we are getting these values here, so we need to assign them to my properties of my car class. So I need to access here my brand. Okay, but now my JavaScript code can be a little bit confused. What I'm accessing? Am I accessing my brand parameter I'm getting here, or I'm accessing my property of a brand? As you saw before, we have access to this context, and this context referencing to the instance itself. So I can access here my this brand, and now I know that I'm accessing my property brand here, and I can get here my value from a parameter of constructor. So I can get here my brand, which will be in this case Mercedes. Then I can copy it and paste it, and now I would like to access my type. So this type I'm specified here, and I would like to get a type value from a parameter. Same with our produce year, so I'm getting this produce year of this instance, and I want to get a value from my produce year parameter here. Alright, and now everything should be alright. When I will save this, I should get correct console log. So when I will run this, alright, run this, you should see here Mercedes-Benz 1995, Mitsubishi Lancer 2002. Alright, so everything is working as it should be. Let's go back to our coding editors. And let's create our second instance from our car class. Okay, so go ahead, you can create a new instance of our car class with our data of the Mitsubishi Lancer and 2002. Okay, so to the video and go ahead. Alright, so I will just copy simply my second car here, my first car, I will paste it here. I will create a new car called car2, and I will get here my Mitsubishi Lancer, and it will be 2002, and that's simply it. I can remove these lines here, and now you can see actually this bracket also. Now you can see how our code of the run app is simplified. Now I know I'm creating two instances of the classes. I'm creating cars. I'm creating cars with this data. I can see here I'm creating car with a brand type and a produce year with the data I'm specifying here. Then I'm just simply displaying my car information of a display info, which is a property of my instances. So by car, when I will hover over, I can have access to a method display info here. And you can see here display info is a function, and this void says here that this function doesn't return anything. Okay, because we didn't specify any return here in a display info. When I will write the return true, like this, now it should says that we are returning here boolean. So display info, hover over, and you can see here now it says here that we are returning from a display info boolean. So you can see here your calling editor already giving you hints how your functions are defined and what they are returning. Alright guys, so I will leave these comments here. Now we are creating instances of our classes with the different data and also some common functionality. Okay, so display info we can use, and display info is called from our instances of a car and a car2 as we are executing here. That should be it for this lecture. I will not make this a lecture any longer. Go ahead, you can play with this, you can create here some new properties, maybe you can define here some new functions, debug your code. I am highly encouraging you to look more into this concept. In next lecture we'll continue and we'll talk more about the classes, but first I would like to show you how you can clean up your code more. So guys, that's it for this lecture, and I hope to see you in the next one. Cheers guys.